Hi guys, Sasha from netbooknews.com. I'm in San Francisco at the moment, and that's why I can do another tablet unboxing. So after we've seen already the very first tablet OS tablet, which is the BlackBerry Playbook, of course, and Android Honeycomb tablets are all over the place. That's the iPad transformer I have over here, and we have the second generation of the iPad. So we can also compare the very first and only WebOS tablet that is on the market right now. The HP TouchPad, that's a 16GB Wi-Fi only version. I just bought it yesterday, $499 without taxes. It has a 9.7-inch display, like the iPad, 1024 by 768 is the resolution. It weighs 740 grams, which is a little bit heavier than all the other tablets, except of the Zoom, I think. I think the Zoom is a little bit heavier. And what's interesting, of course, it sports the new dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon APK 8060, which comes with the Adreno 220 GPU. Damn fast mobile GPU. 1.2 GHz is the clock speed of the processor. So, well, let's do an unboxing, because I tell you one thing, I've never seen any company wrapping up a piece of electronic into so many foils and whatnot, but let's take a look at it. So first of all, getting rid of this fancy foil over here. I don't know why you need that. Then you need to cut through these little films here, and then ta-ta-ta-ta, here we go. Okay, before we're taking a look at the tablet itself, here on the right side we have the PSU, of course, again wrapped up in a transparent foil, and the USB cable, or the power cord that goes into this little PSU over here, and guess what, again, plastic. Let's get rid of this shit. Sorry to say that, but this is really pissing me off to waste so much resources in wrapping up things that are already in a box. But they're not stopping there. Here's the touchpad, and of course it's wrapped up in a foil. There we go. Let's get rid of this. And look, they even put a little foil on top of the power button. What the... exactly. You're not getting it. What else do we have here? Let's see. Oh, this is definitely something you will need, because the HP TouchPad is a fingerprint magnet like no other, and of course even the cloth is getting wrapped up in a foil. A couple of manuals, quick start guides, navigation guides, whatnot, warranties. All the goodies that you don't need at all. And yeah, let's check out the HP TouchPad. So let's take a quick look around the system. Over here we have the volume control, which is actually the right side of it. We have a little home button here. There's a micro USB on the bottom. On this side we can see the speakers. And on the top we have a jack for the headset. And we have the power button. And that's about it. And the first impressions are, gosh, it's not only heavy, it feels very plasticky. Look at this. I've been just holding it in my hands for 20 seconds, and it looks like I've been using it for the last 2.5 years. Whoever made the decision to come out with such a finish, I don't know. I mean, that's a device where HP is charging a premium price, $499, the same price as the iPad 2, and I would expect a decent build quality in terms of the materials they're using for it. So that's a turn off, tell you that. And well, same with the glossy display over here. I think that's a 1.2 or 1.3 megapixel camera. I'm always mixing it up. It's the one over here so that you can make some web video chats, but that's about it. And look at this. It's pretty thick. This is 13.7 millimeters. The iPad and the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1, they are below 9 millimeters. So this is more like, I don't know if they wanted to bring it out as soon as the iPad 1 came to the market and they just couldn't make it. And yeah, it feels a little bit clumsy. But anyways, when you're holding it in your hands, due to the fact that it's a little bit thicker, it feels actually pretty good. Still, it's quite heavy. So let's take a quick look at how it compares to the iPad. Well, first of all, you can see it's almost the same size as the iPad. Here we go. The iPad is a little bit wider, while the touchpad is higher. But now let's take a look at how thin the iPad is and how thin the touchpad is. That's definitely a huge difference. Now let's compare it also to the ePad Transformer, which is using a 10.1-inch display at a 16 by 10 format, while this is a 4 by 3. Of course, the Transformer is way wider, but it's not as high as the touchpad, and it's definitely also not as thick, even though it's getting a little bit bulky in the middle of the back. But also in terms of weight, gosh, that's a difference. As I told you, this one is 740 grams, and I think the Transformer was like 680 grams. And you might say, well, 60 grams. But I tell you what, you can definitely feel the difference, especially because the Transformer is bigger, right? So, yeah, quite interesting. Anyways, should I really compare it with the BlackBerry Playbook? Well, let's do that. It's almost twice as big as the BlackBerry Playbook, as you can see. And of course, when it comes to the thickness, I think that's almost the same. Well, not sure if it makes sense to compare the HP touchpad to a 7-inch device like the BlackBerry Playbook, but it's going to be very interesting when we're doing our operating system comparison videos, because they're pretty similar. It means tablet OS and web OS. So how can you switch it on? Here we go. I'm never sure if I really... Okay, it's definitely something that I want to tell you. I'm not sure if we can see this on the camera, but over here on the bottom of the screen I can see some kind of light boxes that I'm also noticing when I'm taking a look at like $70, $80, $90 tablets from Shenzhen, like pretty cheap ones. Even though that this one sports an IPS display, it seems that the backlight LED isn't the best one that they could get. Something that I haven't experienced on an iPad or on Playbook or on any Android device so far. And also, it takes forever to boot. I'm not sure, this must be like already like 30, 40 seconds. Okay, waiting. There's also a 32GB version available, which costs $5.99. So again, exactly the same prices as the iPad 2. Here we go, finally. Okay, 11% of battery remaining, so looks like I need to recharge this one pretty soon. Very clean desktop at the beginning. There's nothing that you can swipe from one desktop to the other, like on Honeycomb or on the iPad. If you want to see all the pre-installed apps over here, you're just opening it like this. That actually feels pretty zippy. And you can see we have, of course, a browser, email application, calendar, messaging, memos, quick offices here, an Adobe Reader, maps, contacts, phone video calls, a music app, photos and videos, an Amazon Kindle, a native Facebook app, and a YouTube app. But that's about it. everything else is what you need to download over the HP app catalog. Unfortunately, I can't connect to the app catalog, and still trying to figure it out, but I'm pretty sure that this should be alright and should work in my next video, where I'm giving you a detailed review and where I really try to figure out if the HP TouchPad is actually worth the money, because the very first impression is not so good, sorry to say that. That's the HP TouchPad 16GB version. I'm Sascha von netbooknews.com. Thanks for watching.